Hello, I'm Shantae. I'm here with my political analysis today. I'm so sorry I'm so late. I didn't put out a flyer. I just been a little bit disoriented, a little, but not really. I had a lot of busy stuff going on. I had appointments on telehealth, appointments on the phone. I had a lot of things going on. I just watched another live stream while doing my research. So I had a lot going on. But I'm here with some of my political stuff today. If you want to catch it, you can catch it on my live stream or you could catch it on YouTube. I have a YouTube page. It's just my regular name, Shantae Berry, Chantay. Berry, Berry. So you can catch it on YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm more than happy to have more subscribers, so that's good. I don't really post this on Facebook because there are church people that follow me, and you know how that goes. But I'm here with some stuff today. I always start off with the coronavirus, because the coronavirus is the pandemic that's hampering us, even though we do have civil unrest in this country, because that's also another factor of what's going on. And I'm pissed that they not reporting on the civil unrest, because we still have protests that's still going on in this country. But if there's any developments on any cases that I know of, I will definitely let you people know. But I'm here with some stuff today. So here we have it. Globally, with the coronavirus, we are at 15,439,456 on the globe. There's 188 countries that are affected with COVID-19. So that's what's going on. So that's just what it is. In terms of cases here in the U.S., we have reached 4 million cases of COVID-19. It was breaking news from the Washington Post, and we reached that mark within 15 days. That is insane. We started out with 3 million cases back earlier this month, and now that we're in July 23rd, close to the end of July, we reached 4 million cases with no national strategy. But I'm going to read these data numbers to you. It's a little lengthy, but I read on the globe, and then I read within the states. So here in the U.S., we are at 4,34,831. So it's 4,034,831 cases of COVID-19 here in the U.S., and we are the country with the most cases and not the biggest population. Brazil is 2,287,475, followed by India at 1,238,798, Russia 793,720, South Africa, which it was a big jump yesterday. South Africa was at 394,000. Now today they're at 408,052 cases of COVID-19. Peru is at 371,096. Mexico is at 370,712. Chile is at 334,683. And the UK is at 298,721. So those are really big numbers. And some Latin countries, I pulled out some Latin countries. I don't have the whole 188 numbers. That's too much. I'm just going to put numbers that I've been consistently reporting on. All these numbers come from the Johns Hopkins University and Medicine website. They have a COVID-19 map, which they have it by globe and by counties here in the USA. So on the globe, in Colombia is 218,428. Yesterday, there was at 211,038. Ecuador is at 78,148. Yesterday, they were at 77,257. So they went up by like some thousand cases, maybe a little over than that. Dominican Republic is at 57,165. Yesterday, they were at 56,043. So they went up by about like 700 cases. Panama is at 56,817. Yesterday they were at 55,153. So they went up by 1,000 and some change. Guatemala is at 42,192. Yesterday, they were at 41,000. Honduras is at 36,102. Yesterday, they were at 35,345. So they went about just almost 1,000. And El Salvador is at 13,377. Yesterday, they were at 12,975. Now in the African countries, we all know South Africa has the highest numbers. They are the southern part of Africa. They have about over 400,000 cases. I've read the numbers earlier. Nigeria, 38,948, followed by Ghana, 29,672. And Nigeria and Africa numbers didn't really raise that high. I know Ghana numbers are still the same as of yesterday. Cameroon is the same thing, 16,522. Kenya is at 15,601. Yesterday, they were at 14,805. So they went up by like almost 2,000 cases. That's a lot. Senegal is at 9,266. Yesterday, they were at 9,121. So they went up about like a good 1,000 and some change. Chad is at 915. I never reported Chad numbers. I was like, where's Chad? Where's Chad's numbers? And Chad numbers were next to Jamaica's numbers as well. So Chad is at 915, followed by Gambia, which has the least cases in Africa, is at 170. Now in the West Indies, Haiti is at 7,167, followed by Guyana, 351. Bahamas, 274. Yesterday, the Bahamas was at 194. They almost went up by 100 cases. That is a lot. What is going on in the Bahamas? Is there tourism going on? I have no idea. If anybody from the Barbados can tell me what's going on, that would be great. Trinidad and Tobago, 141. Yesterday, they were at 139, so they went about like 2 cases. Antigua is still sitting at 76. St. Vincent went up by 2 cases by 52. Belize went up by 3 cases at 43. St. Lucia went up a case, so they had 24 cases. Grenada still sitting at 23. Dominica is still sitting at 18. And St. Kitts still sitting at 17. Now to the USA, which, like I said, the USA has the most cases, and we account for 1/4 of those cases out of the 15 million. So, in California, I said it yesterday, California is going to surpass New York State. California has 40 million people. New York State has 19 million people. So, California, yesterday, they were at, because I have my numbers, I always recorded them, and I always dated them, 422,352 according to the New York Times COVID map. Because I also get the state numbers, the actual state numbers from the COVID map from New York Times, because John Hopkins only break the state numbers in counties, not in states. So these are numbers from the New York Times COVID map. Today on the New York Times COVID map for the states, California still the highest. Now they surpassed New York yesterday at 433,018. So they went up about 11,000, almost 11,000 cases. That is a lot. And this last 7 days, they went up by 67,000 cases. New York State, which is the state that I hail from and I still live, 414,405. We had positive tests yesterday. We conducted about 70,000 tests. So I'm going to get into Governor Cuomo's briefing. He had one today, so I'm going to get into his. Florida, 389,860. And according to the Orlando Centennial, Florida breaks a record of 173 new deaths reported and 10,249 new coronavirus cases. Because yesterday they were at 379. Today they're at 889. They're another state to look out for because they will surpass New York State in a matter of moments, because Florida has 20 million people, about 1 million more people than New York State. So we all know the governor of Florida is a dumbass. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. Just saying. And their cases in the last 7 days have been about, averaged together, 77,000. It's a lot for a state that has 20 million people. Texas, 375,517 cases. They have went up about 10,000 cases as well. They were at 365 yesterday. And they went up by 70,000 cases within the last 7 days. New Jersey still sitting in the 170s. They have 179,807. Illinois is at 168,766. They haven't not moved up by crazy amount, by probably 1,000 and some change, or probably 1,500. Arizona is at 152,974. Yesterday they were at 150. They say their cases are decreasing, but their hospitals are extremely overwhelmed. I am not shocked that their numbers are going to move up, and their numbers might surpass Illinois just in a matter of time. Georgia is the last state I have, is at 143,857. Yesterday they were at 139,120. So they moved up about 4,500 cases. So, and their hospitals are completely overwhelmed. There's a lack of PPE. There's a lack of testing kits. And that's another dumbass governor, along with Florida, Texas. And I meant to say Arizona, because Governor Ducey still haven't issued a statewide mask order. So that's the states from the New York Times COVID map. Now I'm going to shift gears back to the Johns Hopkins website. Within counties, there's 50 counties, top 50 counties with the most cases, but I reported on 6. Los Angeles has surpassed what Queens was at 165,134. Maricopa, 100,543. I'm reading what I wrote that took notes from the Johns Hopkins website. Cook County in Chicago is at 100,124. Not too far from Maricopa. Miami-Dade County, 92,345. Yesterday they were at 89,557. So that's like a 5,000 jump. Queens, which was the entire epicenter of COVID-19 here in New York City, is at 66,588. Kings County, which is in Brooklyn, that's the last one I'm reporting on right now, is at 60,914. 42 states are seeing rising cases in COVID cases, especially in the South and in the Southwest, the Sunbelt states. And 27 cases see increase in fatalities, including in the South and the South, which is the Sunbelt states, and in the West. But we have no national strategy in place. But the Queen's sewage rat in chief, aka Bull Connor, aka George Wallace, the current occupant of the White House at 1600 Black Lives Matter Plaza, Donald Trump, had a briefing today with no scientist by his side. But Dr. Birx was sitting there not giving any responses, which she is the White House coronavirus data coordinator, but sat her ass there while her resident made a fool of himself. I took some notes, as always, with the buffoonery. So here we have it. Those notes. here. You always got to have your notes. Your notes are important. So Kayleigh McEnany, the White House press secretary, was there. He announced today that the RNC, which is the Republican National Committee, their convention is canceled due to the spike and due to the increasing cases of coronavirus. He said everything was going well. And he said people were desperately wanting to come, as he said. He still refers to this virus, though, as the China virus, which we all indicated for the last 18 million goddamn time. It's the coronavirus. He diverts to his Law and Order speech talking about liberal, Democrat, radical, leftist, all this nonsense. And he said we will do a convention speech in a different form, back to this thing, basically going virtual, which they should have went virtual when the DNC was taking their convention virtual, because, you know, our party, no offense, go by the science, most of us in the party. He also said that we also care about the people of Florida. No, you don't, because you was about to have a whole ass convention there. He also claims that Jacksonville wanted it badly, if he says so. Parents, also he went to the school thing. Parents realized that teachers are essential. And quoted that the Association of the American Pediatric Schools says schools should be open due to kids, the fact that mental illness and physical abuse and food security and all this stuff. He said 35% are behind in reading and 50% are high in math. Then he was saying kids are relying on schools to reopen for food services and counseling. And then he said teachers are mandated reporters, which teachers are not mandated reporters. It's actually school officials. Teachers are nowhere not supposed to deal with kids' behavior. It's supposed to be the school officials and the damn principals. And also he said families should be empowered to make decisions about sending their child to school. He claims that children are not immune to the virus, which I'm going to get into that in a moment. He claims that the housing prices are up by 21%. That is a lie. And then he said the stock market was doing well, which the stock market actually did bad. They were in the red today. I looked on my stocks on the app because, you know, iPhone has it. He also said, the CDC will make guidance in schools. This is not a political thing. He also is reopening. He said reopening schools should be in the next relief bill should be $105 billion to acquire PPE for the kids and all of this nonsense. And he says if the schools are not reopened, the money should go to parents to send their kids to a public, private, religious homeschooling. How are you supposed to send your kids to homeschooling? They're supposed to come to you. The stupid shit that I'm talking about. He said you can't stop 50 million kids from going to school due to the mental and physical health, and reopen schools is critical for parents that's going to work. Yeah, okay. Now to counter that argument with Andrew Cuomo's briefing, because I'm going to make a distinction of the two, because this, like I said, this is straight buffoonery. So Governor Cuomo today reported on the lowest hospitalizations here in New York State. We have 706 people that are hospitalized with COVID-19 since that's been the lowest since March 18th, since the peak of this virus. Also, the fatality rate has continuously declined. As of July 22nd, 13 people have died. That means 12 in hospitals and 1 in a nursing home. Also, the number of tests that have been performed as of yesterday was 69,698. And out of those tests, only 811 were tested positive. So that accounts for 1.1% of the testing. Here in the New York City region, we got our daily test as of yesterday was 1.3, average at 1.3, which is not bad. It's better than where we were. He said 5 in the 5 boroughs, The Bronx had 1.4. BK has 1.1%. Manhattan has 1.2. Queens have 1.5. Staten has 1.6. Staten is upticks. Those are expected. He said he mentioned that New Yorkers don't want to climb this mountain again, and he expressed concern about the rising cases in other states and how it would affect us, affect our progress, because all these other people will be coming in and visiting families and don't realize that they are asymptomatic and affect other people in New York City, and the cases can rise, and totally understand it. He did mention in the capital region had an uptick because of the big July 4th event, I think a party, which I don't understand why these stupid people upstate don't listen. But then again, some of them are listening to Trump because some of them are conservative. Not shocked. He reminded us that the strain of coronavirus did come from Europe, because it's true. It came from places like Spain, Italy, and France, because those are people in those countries that can come to visit New York and come to tour the city, and their states had the highest cases of COVID-19 at the time before the U.S. surpassed them. And now they can contain the coronavirus, and that we cannot bring our asses there because we're quarantined from them. I understand why. I wouldn't blame them. We would have done the same thing to them. He said reopening smart means equals following the science and the metrics, which is true, because that's here in New York State, along with New Jersey and along with Connecticut. That's exactly what we're doing. We're not opening at full capacity. We're opening at half capacity at the most, and a third and a fourth of the capacity, which I don't blame three governors at all. I think Governor Cuomo's doing a fantastic job. Bill de Blasio needs work, but he's coming along. But there's some errors, some kinks that he needs to work on. But the fact that the city, we're not opening in high metrics, is very good. He said New York has opened up since phase 1 since May 15th, and that's only upstate, not here in the downstate. We did not start opening up to, honestly, till June, which I think that was good. I think you should have stayed closed a little longer, but hey. He also mentioned that the economy is affected by the closure, the second time of closure in the state, which is true, because a lot of people are filing for unemployment. 1.4 million people as of last week filed for unemployment, and over 20 million people are unemployed. There's companies that have filed for bankruptcy, such as Ann Taylor, as I learned today, and Lane Bryant, which those are more high-selling companies that have plus-size clothes there as well. So that is a major slump. Retail has been taking hits for years, but they're taking the biggest hits, and they haven't been rescued from the PPE loans. I feel like retail should have been incorporated, because there are people that work low minimum wage jobs that have jobs in retail. So that should have been in place. But there's the Paycheck Protection Act, which that hasn't been enforced, because you have people in the Senate that tried to block everything, which we're not surprised. He also said the quarantine law has to be enforced. There's going to be cops if you're traveling from the city, either if it's from the plane or from a car or the train. You know, you're going to that's going to happen, which is true. He also said the virus is anywhere and is everywhere, and it is a threat to younger people. And I'm going to read these young people ages from 0 to 10. From week 1, it was 1.2, and week 2 is 1.2. And 11 to 20-year-olds is 3.2, and then it went down to 2.5. And 21 to 30-year-olds is 9.9 the first week, and the second week is 3.2. 31 to 40 is 12.9, and it went down to 12.2. 40 to 50 is 10.6 and 8.7 the second week, and 50 and up is at 62.2, and it went down about a little half of a point. The main numbers is 21 to 30, because those jackasses don't listen at all. I know people on my timeline from 21 to 30. I see them without no mask. I see them touching shit, leaning on shit without their gloves, without their mask, you know, hugging and kissing their boyfriend with, you know, that don't live with them. What in the hell are you doing? We're still in a global pandemic. This summer is not normal. There's no parades. There's no festivals, no street festivals. And I look forward to like Harlem Week, going to Harlem Week and everything, you know. And this normal life, one, I would have been working. I would have not been doing these live streams. I would have been in the bed. And I would have been getting my clothes out for tomorrow. I would have been working. But you know what? We're in a global pandemic. And you know what? Shit is only going to get worse. These 21 to 30-year-olds think this shit is a game. There are 21 to 30-year-olds that actually are sick, suffer from complications of this, or worse, they're dying. Not coming off the damn ventilator. And some of it goes to the 30 to 40-year-old crew too. Because you're right neck and neck with the 21 to 30-year-olds. Are you fucking stupid? Do you know this virus kills? And yet, not wearing their gloves. Especially when you go to the store, you should wear your gloves. And when you come out the store, you take the damn gloves off and you put the hand sanitizer on your hands. It's just that simple. Everybody's asking me, oh, Shantae, why are you going crazy about the coronavirus? Why are you take it easy? You should go for a walk. Listen, I do go for my walk. And I see people walking out without their mask, holding their mask in their hand. That is not the way to wear your fucking mask. It's not. It's just not. You keep that shit on until you get in your house. Because as long as you touching things and touching your mask, that's you're attracting COVID to your mask and to your face. And I saw a picture where there was some people, like, I think somebody posted on Twitter, like somebody had bumps, like, on their face. It's absolutely insane. Crazy. Insane. It's nuts. And so he also blasted the Republicans from not trying to give us funding. He also said that, you know, New York do contribute the most. We contribute $29 billion to the federal pot, while people like Mitch McConnell, who try to cut our shit off, takes $37 billion from the federal pot, along with Virginia at $82 billion, Maryland at $42 billion, Alabama at $32 billion, and Florida at $30 billion. So, and he also said federal troops ain't coming to our city either. That's what he said. Donald Trump trying to deploy people. He said no, because if they do, he's going to sue them, which I don't blame them. The reason why I did Cuomo's briefing into Trump's so-called coronavirus briefing, because Trump lied about a lot of things, but he lied about young people not being immune to this. Young people are immune to coronavirus. Young people have died from the Wasaki virus. There's a 5-year-old that died. I believe there was like 11, I'm not sure what the middle ages, and an 18-year-old that died from Wasaki. There's people that got sick from the Wasaki virus and is suffering complications from the Wasaki virus. There's over 75,000 children here in the U.S. that has COVID-like symptoms, that's been sick from COVID-like symptoms, that's still suffering from complications just because they have recovered from the virus. This virus is deadly. So when Donald Trump said your kid is immune to go to school, don't believe the fuckery, because it's bullshit. When he says the stock market do bad, look at your stock market app if you have an iPhone, because the stock market was in the goddamn red today. I'll post the damn picture up too, just for the receipts, because he lied about that. The Dow Jones did not do well. The housing markets actually, they declined lower. The interest rate for the Federal Reserve loans, it's declining. It's bad. Jerome Powell, who was appointed, I guess, by Trump, the Fed chair, says we're fucked. The unemployment benefits are expiring, the extra $600. as of tomorrow. In some states, unemployment is completely cut off. And the Republicans are waiting till next week to vote for another relief bill. People need this goddamn money now. Nobody don't want no one-time $1,200 payment no more. Kamala Harris have a bill for $2,000 per month, co-signed by Bernie Sanders and Ed Murkey, to put $2,000 in our pockets, and for people that have children to put an additional $2,000 in your pockets. Expiring by March 21st, and it's supposed to extend 3 months later into June. By the end of the fiscal year next year. But they worry about payroll taxes and stuff like that, which Republicans like Chuck Grassley spoke against of the payroll tax cut, because people are losing their goddamn jobs. People are getting evicted from their homes, and no one's reporting that. But this administration does not care. They care about the economy. Well, the economy is a fluke. It's bad. It's not good, and it's going to get worse as long as Donald Trump tries to push for reopening and politicizing of reopening of schools. Enough about COVID, because I ranted a very long time about COVID-19. I wanted to talk about the AOC speech and how today what she said was very impactful. And I loved what she said. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the congresswoman from the Bronx, the 14th Congressional District, and some parts of Queens, because that's what she represents. She said this due to the fact, I guess you know what happened. She got accosted by a white, older Republican male from Florida, which is Ted Yoho. He attempted to apologize, but made it about himself and did not apologize for his passion, aka his anger and his temperament. So this is what he said. This is what she said. I encountered words uttered by Mr. Yoho, men uttering words like Mr. Yoho, while being harassed in restaurants, while she worked in restaurants, tossing men out of bars. I didn't catch the whole thing. I tried to catch some stuff that's important to me. This issue is not about one incident, it's about the culture, which is true. I've been spoken to like this from members of the Republican Party and elected members from the Republican Party, because it's true. I don't need Rep. Yoho to apologize to me. Clearly, he doesn't want to. And I am someone's daughter too, because she is. Her mom is still alive. Her father's deceased. And she mentioned if her father was still living, you probably know what happened. I don't care about your views, what your views are. That's true. And then he mentioned about having a daughter, saying I have daughters and wives and everything. She said, having a daughter does not make a man decent. Having a wife does not make a decent man. And those words were powerful, because here's the thing with these Republican white men, especially. It's like a bad culture, because that's the culture they have. They feel like they can talk to women, especially women of color anyway. They feel like they can just accost people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and don't realize there's repercussions of talking to women crazy. I know there's men that talk to me crazy, of all races. Indian men, Asian men, black men, white men. And they got cursed the fuck out really bad. And I told them one time, go get your wife. Because that bitch will get slapped too. But this is why I can't be in politics, because men like Ted Yoho will make me call my father, make me call my man, make me call my cousins, and any little other dude I want to pay around the block to whoop that ass. Seriously. Like the culture in politics today, because Donald Trump emboldened these white men, especially because the culture's been there, but he emboldened them more to just to say what the fuck they that he want to say to them. Like that shit is okay, and it's not okay. It's not. So she was right to say that. And Ted Yoho can keep that fucking nasty ass apology, shove it down the sewage drain or some toilet, whatever, and go on about his business, because he's not running for re-election anyway. Maybe a Democrat will take his spot. That's my opinion. But I already covered what I'd say about these white men. Now on to advocacy again for the Veep stakes. Not for the Veep stakes, but Kamala Harris did question a DOJ officer about deploying the federal officers to cities like Chicago, Albuquerque, federal agents when there's police officers already there already. And he basically like cherry picked and danced around the question and continued to not answer the question. Like, William Barr is behind this shit too. This whole thing about federal agents coming into cities is creating more division and more chaos in this country that we already experiencing already. It's already the pandemic. There's already civil unrest in this country. People still protesting, not being reported, which I don't understand why. We have an economic crisis going on, and now this bullshit. Yes, crime is little. Crime can be handled if you have the right leadership. The problem is Donald Trump is emboldening people to do what the fuck, whatever. Some of these things I feel like it's a coordinated effort. Some is about, not having a lot of stuff, but some of this is coordinated effort because Trump wants to make urban cities and cities run by Democrats bad and make the suburbs good, and just trying to create and stoke more division. And that's why I do not pay attention to the gaslighting. Pay attention to the task on hand and getting this man out of here. Because as long as Donald Trump is in his office, he's going to desecrate this country. He's already pooping in on it. It's going to be 10 times worse. So kudos to some Democrat senators that's actually doing the damn work. Now on to the Veep stakes. I said, I don't know if I should do a special live tomorrow about the Veep stakes or Saturday about the Veep stakes, because I'm really trying to have a conversation with people about the Veep stakes because those are important. I never thought that picking a vice president would be super duper important, but newsflash, it is. So you can drop in the comments, DM me to see who's your pick. I told you who's my pick, and that is that. But is that rain? Oh, but I'm gonna end this live and say, just please pay attention to what's going on in this world. Please be vigilant. Don't give up hope. We already dealing with a lot. The last thing you need to do is get depressed. I spoke with a good friend of mine. I spoke with my mom and my sister and even my dad. Don't lose sight of what you want to do or anything. Find something that relieve you or relax you. Take a walk outside. Breathe some air. Work out if you work out. You can take a walk, and walking is working out. Do something constructive. Spend time with your children if you have kids. Do an activity, game night, things that really like bring you guys together. And that's what I can leave you with, because there's still light at the end of the tunnel, and God is in the midst. So you have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow, and maybe I'll decide. Y'all can give me ideas if I should do a live based on the Veep stakes. Thank you.